This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode number 256 of the Action Movie Guys podcast. I'm your host, Nate, and it's my co-host,
Alex Figueroa.
And this week we are continuing with our spy movie month, and we are going to be doing a little MCU film called Black Widow from 2021. So this is pretty new, fairly recent. Stars Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, and some other people that we'll talk about as we review the movie. Now, Alex, I know that we reviewed this, not in this format, though. We just did a movie review for this when it came out.
Yeah.
I watched it at the theater. You watched it at home. I very much remember. And we both liked it at the time. So were you interested in doing a rewatch and seeing if that thought held up?
Well, all right, so let's do this, because actually you're right. I remember watching this at home.
Yes.
Because you saw it on IMAX.
Yes.
And I saw this at home, and I loved it. I was like, yo, this is, and I was hyping, I was telling people, I was like, this is the best freaking spy version of a Marvel movie that came out. Besides Winter Soldier. I keep saying, I love Winter Soldier to death. But this one, I was like, I loved it a lot. I was like, this is really good. I was like, it hit all my cues for spy movies. And you're right. In terms of the rewatch ability, I don't go back much to watch Marvel movies. Actually, I haven't seen a Marvel movie in a long time. Mm-hmm. I know other people are raving about the Guardians, and I saw your review, and I was like, I'll wait for it once it hits Disney. I'll watch it there. But I'm not a big Marvel guy once Endgame ended. But in terms of this one, I was like, spy genre, can this work with the superheroes? And I thought it worked well. But in terms of adding our stats to this movie, I'm very intrigued to see it. Going back and rewatching it and see how it works. Does it still hold up for me?
Stuff. Sometimes it changes stuff,
It does.
Or it makes you focus on certain things you kind of maybe overlooked the first time, which happened to me here in one of these categories. We'll talk about it. So before we do, let's talk about some Rotten Tomato scores, and this one is high. This one is a 79% critics, so almost 80%, which is not weird. Nowadays, the Marvel movies aren't always as high for critic. Well, Ant-Man was horrible, and I think Eternals did bad, and some other ones didn't do so good after this movie. But 91 audience score, which that I do find interesting because audience scores for Marvel movies have been going down a bit recently, especially in Phase 4. So pretty high scores. Now, before we review, me and Alex made a decision here. I think besides the lead character, where we will have to factor in, I think you have to factor in the movie she appeared in, because this movie's set in between all these other movies. You know what I mean? But besides her, we are not going to factor in Phase 4, if this should have happened in Phase 3, if it's MCU. We're not going to factor in too much of the MCU-ism outside of describing the lead character. So if you want us to give your, say, well, this is the best of Phase 4, we're not even going to talk about phases or nothing. It's a standalone movie, and we will treat it as such. But I do think we'll have to talk about it when we talk about the lead. So besides that,
that's fine.
You get to go first. We got Scarlett Johansson, Natasha Romanoff, for the however many time, playing Black Widow. What did you think?
In this movie, I liked her a lot. I'm not a big fan of Black Widow when she introduced in Iron Man 2, I believe. It was her first movie. Iron Man 2 was her first movie. I thought she was very quiet in that movie, but very mysterious. You didn't know who she was, where she came from, but she was beautiful. That's all you know. And she was pretty good. Once later down the road that she started to appear in more movies, where the Avengers and then all over, I wasn't too thrilled with her. I wasn't too crazy. I was just like, because I felt like in a movie where it's tons of superhero, you might get outshined, and you're not going to have a lot of screen time to show off your abilities, where she is more of a spy, she's more of an espionage type character, but she will kick your ass, and she does a lot of disguises. And that's why I kind of liked her in Winter Soldier, because she got to see that element of her. She was showing Steve Rogers how to get away when they were escaping to get away from S.H.I.E.L.D. And then when she put on the mask and she got Robert Redford, she took it off, and I was like, oh my God. And I went nuts. I'm not going to lie. I screamed in the theater. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. And that's why I think Winter Soldier is one of the best ones, actually the best one in the old MCU. In this movie, she did that. They went I like that they gave her what she is. I don't read the comics, but I guarantee you this is very close to the comic. She gives you the espionage. She whips ass. You see a lot of backstory. You see her and her family, which we'll get to, I guess, some point during this whole thing.
Storyline.
Yeah, storyline, which I thought it worked very well with everybody. So for me, she embodied Black Widow. Now, if you would have asked me, would you see someone else? Well, there was someone in this cast that I thought should have been casted a long time ago because I think she fit the role and she has the actual redhead. But I thought it worked well, so I slapped her with a 5. I mean, I gave her a 5, not slapped her.
I slapped her with my 5 fingers.
My 5 fingers slapped. Yeah.
Okay, a 5. Okay. Yeah, so I love Scarlett Johansson as an actress. I don't think she always picks the best projects.
Yeah,
but I do think she's pretty much always good in what she's in. Give or take a movie here or there. Like, I don't think she was great in Ghost in the Shell, which is a movie we'll probably do in the future here.
Lucy.
But yeah, I didn't love Lucy, but I thought she was pretty good.
No, she was good in the fight.
But she was like great in Jojo Rabbit, Marriage Story. Like, she could play drama, but she can do action. So yeah. I think she's not funny. So anytime she does like comedy stuff, I don't think it always works either. So hit or miss with her project choices, but I do love her as an actress. In this movie, there are moments where she does get to do some little bit more dramatic acting, you know, like mostly the stuff with the family and when she's going over and when she's talking with Ray Winstone's character at the end. And I thought her acting was really good. The character, you're right. I think she was really eye candy in Iron Man 2. Like, let's call it what it is. She was there because she's gorgeous and, you know, that factored in with the character, which nowadays they don't do these things too much, right? But that fits with the character. If you're a woman spy who's gorgeous and you can use your looks to infiltrate places, you know, that's kind of a natural thing. Now, in this movie, she never does that. This is not that movie, but it made sense at least. I do agree with you though. I always thought she was solid, but overshadowed, but Winter Soldier was the one that gave her character the most to do.
The depth. Yeah.
She had way more to do in that movie. She was more important in that movie than she was in a lot of the other movies until this one. So that being said, I think I agree with you. I gave her a 5. I think, you know, at this point, there was a few times here or there where it seemed like she was a little bit phoning it in, to be honest. Like 1 or 2 scenes where she was kind of like bland. But overall, I thought the performance, that's more on the performance than the character. I thought overall it was good, but I think the character's interesting. She has a great backstory. You know, person who was a forced assassin because her parents just gave her up to this guy who they brainwashed her and they treated her like garbage. And we'll get into more of that stuff with the story. And then she trying to redeem herself all her life. Like, there's a lot there with the character. So I thought she was great too. I gave her a 5 as well. All right, now main villain. Now this is played by Ray Winstone. Dreykov is his name. He's a Russian guy. He's in charge of the Red Room. He controls the widows. And we'll talk a little bit about Taskmaster too. What did you think?
I gave him a 3. He was good. And I gave him the 3 because of what he was in the story. Not because he fought Black Widow. We all knew he was not going to go toe-to-toe with Black Widow. I mean, we all knew that. But in terms of his menacing, like his master plan, that shit came through because this dude turned all these young girls and made them, you know, pretty much took them away from their families and made them into assassins. And I thought that shit is awesome. So I gave him the 3 for that, the plot and everything. I was like, you know what? This dude was awesome. Now there's some stuff that did not work. I mean, he punched her, but again, he punched her because she needed to break her nose so she can't smell the pheromones of they can't attack him. So that is that. Other than that, dude, he's just a plain old Joe Schmo. Like, not much. He didn't get his hands much dirty because he has the widows to do it. So, again, when it comes to a mastermind villain, was he a mastermind? Technically, yes. But he's not that villain that will do his own dirty work. That's what I'm trying to say. So, with that said, I gave him a 3.
I couldn't have agreed with you more. I have a 3 written down. He's too one note. That's the problem. Like, he's evil. Okay, we get it. He's evil. There's no nuance to his evil. He's evil and he treats women badly. That's his whole thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's the line at the end where he's like, you know, the most disposable, you know, commodity or whatever. Girls. It's like, okay, we get it. We get it. He hates women and he uses them to do his, you know, all his dirty work and infiltrate stuff and all that crap. But that's all he is. He is nothing else in this movie. He does nothing else. He punches her a few times, which you would think, knowing that she needs to smell him to not fight. He wouldn't punch her in the nose, but nope, he punches her right in the nose anyway. So that's stupid. And then even at the end, when he leaves, he's like, you guys take care of it. Like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. He couldn't even do it himself. He could have shot her. He could have stabbed her. He had her knife. He had her gun. He didn't do none of the dirty work himself. So kind of a chump. Now, Taskmaster, I have issues with this. Now, it's a henchman.
Oh, I totally forgot about the character.
That's okay. I'll give you a chance too. It's a henchman, so it's not going to count on the 3. The 3 is for him. But if it was included, it wouldn't go any higher because I hate this version of Taskmaster. First of all, I don't care that they gender swapped it. My issue is not that it's now a woman instead of a man. Doesn't matter. Wears a mask. Who cares? But the character is so cool, or the idea of the character is so cool in the comic books and so not cool here. And I don't read comics a lot, but I do read about characters and history and stuff like that. So, it's not like I just totally don't know anything. And to have a kind of a mutant, he's basically a mutant who has instead of photographic memory, he has photographic reflexes. So whatever he looks at, he can recreate. Spot on, exactly right. And you could do a lot with that, right? But
is it like muscle memory?
Kind of, yeah, but without ever doing it, he can just do it.
Gotcha.
So he copies the fighting style of every Marvel character, no problem. And then they use him as a person to train other heroes or villains to fight against them, which is a great idea. They don't do any of that. First of all, this girl got technology that helps her do it, right? She has that mask that's mapping all the stuff. And so, Ray Winstone's character, he says, oh, she's a perfect mimic, which is kind of what it is, but not really. And she doesn't talk. They're all burnt up, saying nothing. I didn't really like this version of Taskmaster. She didn't look as cool as the real Taskmaster, and she's different. She's just different than what he really is. So if I was adding it in, it would probably go down, but we'll leave it as a 3 for me. But what did you think of her really quick?
I like the whole fight between them two. I thought the whole mimicking thing was pretty cool, but again, another wasted character, I guess you want to call it.
Yes.
I don't care for the whole swapping of genders or color or race or whatever the hell. The story, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But you got to tell it. You got to at least go with the comics. If I don't mind wherever you're going to go with the story, as long as it makes sense to what the source material is. And that's the problem with these comic book stories. They want to do so much and they want to bring them to life, but they take away what they were in the comics. And I don't care. Again, you could switch race. You could switch. Because you know what? Commissioner Gordon was black in the Batman, and I thought it was a hell of a job. I did not care. It felt like Commissioner Gordon. It's just a different person playing him. So as long as that, if you have the essence of the character. Yes. If it feels like the character and it's a female, why not? It's different. It's something new. But they went with this whole, she got blown up, so now he put a chip in her head, a chip in the head, a chip in the head.
Yeah, what is that? I put a chip in her neck.
Yeah, I put a chip in the neck. So she now can mimic she's like a computer, pretty much.
Yeah, I hate that.
And from what you're saying, if that was his ability and they took it away to put a computer, any computer could be wiped, any computer could be damaged, and and she just sucks.
And any computer can do what she does. It's not an actual ability. It is technology, which I'm never a fan of. Especially in a superhero movie, it's about people with ability, powers usually.
Mutant powers, yeah.
And I know Black Widow, this movie is more spy genre, whatever. She still lives in the world where the Hulk is and where Thor is. And so it's not like there's nobody with powers in this world. You know what I mean? So anyway, don't love Taskmaster in this. Kind of a waste. And is going to be back in the Thunderbolts movie, but I don't like her, so I don't really care.
Good she get a paycheck, though.
Yeah, good for her. I like Olga Kurylenko. I like the actress, but she doesn't even talk. She just looks like
she did better here than Quantum of Solace. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but she was hot in Quantum of Solace.
Oh, she was hot,
but she was ugly in this and didn't talk. So what is she there for? You could have just had anybody. I mean, no, it wasn't her in the suit. Either way, doesn't matter. Okay, let's move on. Action scenes. What did you think?
Oh, Jesus Christ, in the latter day scenes. This movie. This movie got action. I mean, you can't do a Black Widow movie without action. And boy, oh, God almighty, this thing gave you the action. Taskmaster and her on the bridge was freaking awesome. I don't care. I mean, we can shit on the character all we want, but that fight scene was awesome with the shield. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. And I wish, how you said his vision showed all the... I wish it said, activate Captain America when he has the shield, when he's fighting her. You know what I mean? At least make it fun. If you're gonna go down that road,
I agree. That way you really know who the person's fighting as.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then it'll be like activating Natasha Romanoff's fighting. And then you see her do the flip. And then
When she did Black Panther, when she does the claws and does this.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would have been funny. But yeah, I think that fight was really good. I thought her fights were pretty. I like the jail cell scene when she comes off the helicopter and she's fighting all the dudes on the bridge. I thought that was pretty cool. Damn, there was more. When she fought the widows, I thought it was really cool. You could see how better she was when against those widows. She goes, "You really don't want to do this," and then she starts whipping them. And I was just like, "Girl, this is really awesome." But I think the fight of the whole movie is her versus the White Widow or whatever her name is. Florence
sister?
Pugh. Yeah, her sister, her little
Elena.
sister. Yeah, Elena. Yeah, I always liked that name a lot, Elena. I thought that was a great fight. I thought it was really good. You could see how she. Now I wanted to ask you because there was some stuff about her character here, and I was just like, it made me wonder. Did she have a little like super soldier serum in her or something?
Yelena or
No,
Natasha?
Natasha.
I don't think she's supposed to, but she takes a crazy fall at that one part and
And
bounces
then she
around like
lands
a
on
pinball.
her
And,
feet.
yeah, and then runs after.
Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, did they imply that she has some type of like power in her?
She ain't supposed to.
Okay.
ain't
No,
supposed to.
I know, but I just, because that scene alone, and
I
then when
agree with
she
you. That
fought
part
her,
I was like, "Was this John Wick 4 where he jumps out the window and
Yeah.
falls on the van and then the same thing?"
unless with the experience with the Avengers, she knows how to fall like from tall heights,
cat-like
but
reflexes.
that's stretching. I mean, I'm trying to stretch
We're
here.
grasping for straws here.
Yeah, we're very grasping here. Because when she fights her sister, you can see she's dominant, but the sister and her are kind of the same, but she's a little bit better. Then when she fights all of the widows, she is just destroying them until they just, like, they all
overwhelm
ganged
her.
on her. Yeah, they just ganged on her, and it was like pretty much over. But other than that, I would like you to go, I gave it a 5. I was like, it's a 5. I thought it was good. Oh, and then the Red Guardian can't go, ha!
Oh yeah, David Harbour. Yeah,
That was my dude.
All right. So first of all, I first of all remember there being more action than there was.
I thought
There's
so
a
too.
lot of talking in this movie. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm okay with talking as long as it's interesting.
Yeah.
But I could have sworn there was more action in this
I
movie
thought so too, yeah.
than it was. Like at one point I checked how long I was watching because I watched this right before we recorded. So I was trying to make sure like I wasn't like running out of time. I was like, bro, there hasn't been any action in 30 minutes at least. What's going on here? So that's number 1. Number 2, I thought all the action scenes early, I liked the bridge fight, but it's pretty short.
Yeah.
I like the little chase scene at the beginning when they're escaping America, but it's pretty short. I like this fight with the sister. It's cool. It looks cool. It's like MMA, grappling, but it's pretty short. I do like the prison escape scene. I think that's one of the more fun action scenes where they're rescuing their dad with the snow and the white costumes. And I love the part with the rocket launcher where the dude's shooting and she gets on the rocket launcher and just shoots the one rocket. It was very 80s to me, like very 80s action movie. She blows him up and causes an avalanche. Like, okay, but it was fun, right? So that was all good. I enjoyed those things. Now, the big finale. This is where this is where it loses me a little bit. I don't remember it being this glaring, but there is some of the worst green screen in this end scene when Yelena's on the plane and she's got the stick and she's gonna put it in the thing and they cut to her face. It looks. I watched this on 4K. I watched on the disc. It looks so horrible. Like you could see the green screen. Then they cut to Natasha. And she's like, don't do it. Green screen, horrible. And I'm like, what the heck? Like most of this movie has a lot of CGI and some of it's not that good, but most of it's fine. Those scenes, I was like, oh my God, horrible. Then right after this is the part where I don't like the end. I don't like the skydiving thing where they're like, they can like, okay, look, they're in a freaking castle in the sky and they jump off. The sister falls. Black Widow's able to jump off, just go right to her like a missile, right? Get a backpack on her while they're falling. Then detach from her, then turn, then land on this thing and like skate down it while the Taskmaster's coming at her. Then they open a parachute about 30 feet from the floor and don't crash and die. They just roll. I gave it a 4. Because I didn't like the finale. But I agree with almost everything else you said. There's not as much action as I remember, but there's enough. And I do like the choreography. The fight choreography is good.
Yeah.
It's when they try to get too big with the action that it's like, this is not the movie. It didn't need it. It didn't need that ending with the thing blowing up and them falling like that and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I do agree with you on that. My question to you is, why you did not see it on the IMAX Enhanced Disney Plus?
My TV, I don't know, like the Disney Plus, I didn't want to stream it.
Okay.
Sometimes they do look good usually on my TV, but I feel like when I watch the discs, I don't know if it's because of the settings I have for the Blu-ray player or for the 4K player, but I have changed all the settings that they don't always mirror over when I stream something. So I just watch it that way because I have like the colors all done. I didn't have time to do all that. I've not seen the IMAX Enhanced version. I feel like maybe that green screen would have been more glaring. I don't know. So,
honestly, I didn't. To me, it looked natural. I didn't see. I didn't see what you mean. Like when they explode and the whole thing starts to fall apart. I was just like, "What the hell?"
I gotta
is this?
send you the clip of the green screen. You're gonna be like, "Oh shoot, okay." Florence Pugh looks like she's standing in a room somewhere, and it's like blue sky behind her, and I'm like,
well, there's one part we're gonna nip it. There was one part where she, which I was like, I told the engineer, I said, "There's no way in hell this thing copied at 100% this fast." She puts the digital thing in, everything starts to explode, and all of a sudden the numbers goes, and then she's hitting the button to carry out, and then that's when you can see it was when she's running through the hallway, she shoots through the glass, she busts out the glass, and I was just like, I'm not taking it away because again, it's a superhero movie.
Sure.
But there's some parts that it's just like,
she's a human.
That's far-fetched.
Yeah, she's a human.
Like,
she doesn't have powers. So this is not necessarily the movie where you want to go too overboard with. If it was Captain America,
way too overboard.
You know,
well, yeah, because he has
got abilities.
he has the super. It was a super soldier, so he could go.
Red Guardian, he has like serum in him. I could see him doing something. But anyway, and you're right. She downloaded the freaking disk drive of terror in faster you can upload a YouTube video. So go figure.
I was just like, what speed is that? Like
ultra. Well, and they were in a castle in the sky. They're not even connected to like a power source. I don't want to talk about it. It doesn't. Okay, let's go to storyline.
I like this story a lot. I don't think it's a perfect storyline, but I like it a lot. I gave it a 4. I thought it was a great storyline. I think it still held up. I enjoyed it. I have a lot of fun. I think what made this movie very great was the beginning, where her as a kid. I thought that it felt very, very drama, very like you're in it. The emotions in that whole scene was actually really good until they got into the plane. They take off. Even when they show Ever Anderson, which is the daughter of PSW, his daughter. I thought that was all pretty cool, and I thought it was cool. I think the whole dynamic of the family, I think to me made the whole movie. Dave Harbour stole the whole movie for me. I can see a whole movie with that dude, and I'll be laughing. He's like, Natasha, you don't talk to your mother like that. He said, but you're not my real dad. He goes, no. He goes, all the hating. Why are you always hating? He goes, you're an Avenger.
Right when he gets on the helicopter, he's like, what the animosity? Like, you abandoned us and gave us the, and he's just like,
what did I do? Like, I love that whole, like, the way he talks is so funny. I thought that was pretty cool. But my whole scene is the scene that they're eating. In he puts on the suit, the tight ass suit. And he goes, ta-da! Yeah. I thought that was like when they were sitting. I love that whole dynamic. And then when he talks to Fearless Pugh in the room.
Oh, yeah.
And then she goes, what's the point of the story? And he goes, he had to pee on my hand. And she goes, God, that's nasty. He's like, I'm trying to open up to you.
And she's mad. He's mad because she calls him Red something. And he's like,
Dynamo.
It's Red Guardian. And she's like, get out.
He goes, really? Yeah, he goes, it's really Red Guardian. Yeah, so like I thought that whole thing was cool. I like, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me though, but I like that this movie didn't have to have any Avengers or any of those characters in. Like, I like that it was just her. They didn't show no Captain America. They didn't show no Iron Man, no Hulk, no Thor, no Vision and Scarlet Witch. Like, I liked it. And I said, you know what? That was pretty genius because then it would have took away from her and her character. Because then you could have been like, oh, it's Tony Stark during this scene. He could have just came and blah, 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 blah. Like, I liked that, and I thought it worked very well. Again, was the movie boring? I didn't find it boring. I was into it. I was like, you know what? This was actually a really fun movie. It was a fun entertainment popcorn flick. It reminded me of a Mission Impossible movie, but superhero. Not with the crazy over-the-top stuff, which Tom Cruise does, but to me, it reminded me of that. And I was like, you know what? That actually hit some notes of Mission Impossible with superhero. And I was like, that's actually pretty good. So I gave it a 4. I don't think it was a perfect, but I gave it a great.
Yeah, I gave it a 4 too. It held up for the most part for me as well. I like the supporting cast is great in this. Rachel Weisz is great. She's not in it enough, but she's great. David Harbour is awesome. Florence Pugh is awesome. So I like the dynamic of, that whole thing as well. I agree. I like her and her sister together. They bicker a little bit, but at the end of the day, they have those memories of growing up together, and she's still the older sister and Yelena's still the baby sister. And I thought they played well off each other, honestly. And I thought this is a MacGuffin story. If you're not sure, a classic MacGuffin story. MacGuffin means there's an item. There's this item, and they got to get the item. And that's pretty much, that drives the plot. And in this case, it's those red antidote that will free all the... But, it's like what drives the movie, but it's not really that important. Because she ends up blowing up the whole thing in one use in that room up in the sky, right? So, she blows up all the little vials. Yes, it was. I just
Scarlett Johansson, before she runs out, she grabs 2 of the vials and she puts it in her pocket.
Oh, there's 2 left. Okay. She blew up like 10 of them.
Yeah, she blew up. I guess what happened was when it blew up, I guess 2 fell out.
2 didn't blow up? Okay.
No.
So whatever. My point is, instead of using 1, she throws all of them.
Well,
so you waited the whole
agree
movie. There's 1,000 Black Widows all around the earth, according to that thing. They saved 2. So, I mean, I'm sure they're going to recreate it or whatever. But the point is, it's a story about this thing that doesn't matter that much. So, yeah, a simple storytelling technique. But yeah, the family dynamic was the best part. There's a little bit of humor. It's not overboard. This is not like now MCU where every single movie has to have 1,000 jokes. Yeah. David Harbour's funny and everyone else is, there's like little funny lines, but it's mostly played serious, which I like, since they don't happen like this that much lately. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't think it's earth-shattering either. I didn't give it a 5. It's not perfect, but it does the job. I think it could have been about 15 minutes shorter. There's a few scenes here or there that are kind of like, okay, let's speed this along a little bit. But anyway, 4 for me, 4 for you. What did you give it overall?
I was leaning towards the 5 for me, but I gave it a 4. I thought it's a perfect 4. It fits a 4. I think it's a great film. I don't know why a lot of people shit on it. There's a lot of people that I know shits on them, and I was like, why?
It's because it's phase 4, and they just can't help themselves.
And that's the thing. Again, we're trying to stay away from that whole discussion and everything, because, again, we're not that type of channel or podcast that breaks all that stuff down. But for me, you can't lump sum an entire phase on good movies. So let's say, for instance, phase 2. Would you say Captain America Winter Soldier is horrible? Let's say it was god-awful, all the movies, and Winter Soldier was like the best one, you're going to say that was a shit movie because it was part of phase 2.
Because the rest was bad? Yeah, I agree with you.
That makes no damn sense. If it's good, it's good. If the other ones suck, that's the whole point of films. And not every film is going to be... I think people got spoiled for all the success of all the movies that came down the line. But anyway, for me, I thought it was great. I love the movie. I'm great. I'm happy that I own it. I'm still annoyed that Disney Plus has the IMAX version of it and we don't own it on disc, whereas DC movies give us the IMAX version, so you have it already in your collection. But it is what it is. I enjoyed it on IMAX. I think it looked great. It looked phenomenal. I do agree. This is where I said that I think Rachel Weisz should have been the Black Widow, the original Black Widow. And I think she would have had a great chemistry with all of them. But I guess at the time, she's older now, so I don't know how that would work. Whereas Scarlett Johansson, I'll ask you this before I pass off the baton to you, is now that we know with the Black Widow, right? Scarlett Johansson's still young. Would you want to see another one? Maybe another mission with her and Hawkeye, in Budapest that they talk about? Yeah, remember they talked about how they were in Budapest and they got to stay in that spot.
Yeah, and they have the arrows. They showed the thing where he's got the arrows in the... I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't mind that this was a prequel. I know a lot of people, that was their issue. This movie should have came out 6 years ago. Yeah, okay, it should have, but that doesn't diminish the fact that it's now here and it exists, and how do you rate it on its own merits? So I wouldn't mind a prequel. I liked it. Well, anyway, I'll just go. I like this movie as well. I gave it a 4 too. I think it's solid. I think there's enough mystery to the character that there could be more stories told. Yes, they would all be prequels. I get that. But so what? You know what I mean? So what? They're just not set in current times. You just change the date, and in the movie it's 2005 or whenever it is. Who cares? Movies do this all the time. There's prequels all the time. So look at Indiana Jones. Them things ain't in order. Temple of Doom happens before Raiders, And then the third one happens after the Raiders, and they're not in the right order, and no one cares. Everyone just watches them, right? So I agree with you. I think this movie, I mean, it has a 91% audience. Now, again, that's audience people who will rate it. You have like the common person who's not going to give a ranking for a movie. And I have heard a lot of people that don't like it as well. I think there's two factors. I think as a superhero MCU movie, it's not amazing. I think the way we did it as a spy movie, like watch this as a spy movie, as a Mission Impossible type, as a Bond type, I think it's good. I think it's a good film. Very good even. As part of phase 4, it's probably one of the better ones in that phase anyway. So even if you didn't like them, it's better than Doctor Strange. It's better than Thor. It's better than Eternals. So like, what, sure. Say what do you want? Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. I think it's a good movie. I have a good time with it. I gave it a 4 as well. You gave it a 4. What's your total points?
My total points is a 21, just like Russia with Love. I think it's it's weird. I think it's a fantastic movie, and I wanted to see more of the character. And it's funny because even when they introduced her in Iron Man 2, I always wanted to see a solo film of Black Widow because I like that spy genre, and it's fun. And you saw it in Winter Soldier, how dynamic that character is. She had gadgets, dude. When they went into the bunker, she was like, bloop. She plugged it in. She did her techie stuff. And I was like, yo, this is hot. Why can't we get stuff like this? And you don't, like, throughout I don't know. I just felt like the whole rush to go into the Avenger thing. I get it. You got to make money and everything. But I would like to see this character continue going on. Like, if let's say Scarlett Johansson is done, and I think she said in an interview that she's pretty much done as this character, then recast. You opened up the damn multiverse, bring another Black Widow that's younger, and then you could, do some more espionage story with her. I don't know. I kind of like the character. It's just a shame we never got to see more of. Whereas we saw a lot of Hulks, a lot of Thors, and a lot of, useless movies, I guess, that ties into this damn universe. But yeah. That's just
my total's also the same as from Russia with Love, a 20. I gave it a 20 out of 25.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Different scores in different spots, but same total. Now, you said, you took the words out of my mouth. You opened a multiverse where, why is she so dead? Like Gamora, I'm pretty sure I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Gamora was in it. Yeah. And it's a different version of her. Fine. It's still Gamora. You're telling me that there's not another multiverse version of Natasha Romanoff that they could use either in a new film? Okay, let's say you don't want to make a prequel. You make it a sequel. She could still be alive. There's ways, is my point. Even though, side note, the MCU multiverse doesn't make any sense because Peter Parker looks different in every version and Doctor Strange looks the same in every single version. So why is it always Benedict Cumberbatch, but it's different? I don't want to talk about it.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're talking about.
It doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense. But my only problem and gripe is if you're going to use the whole money situation that you can't afford her to make sequels, because that's what it looks like.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Didn't she sue them?
She sued them for $100 million, and I think she got $100 million. Which, you know what? We're not getting into it, but I'm on her side on this. You basically tarnished her contract knowing that she was going to get way more money if
Jessica
it was on
Chastain
theater.
could play her. She's a natural redhead. She's been trying to get action movies like all the time. Put her as one. That's cool.
You could put her. There's so many. You could have used the original cast, Emily Blunt, but she's never going to do a superhero movie.
No. But now they're pretty much just making Florence Pugh's character the new Black Widow, which is fine. Whatever. It's her sister. She could fight. She was a widow. It's okay. We'll go forward with her. She's young, so anyway.
And cheaper.
And cheaper. Well, for now. 21 from you, 20 for me. Next week, we got a couple of new episodes for you. We're going to be doing Goldfinger. I won't sing it this time. We're going to be doing Goldfinger, starring Sean Connery as Bond, continuing that franchise. And then we are doing our next spy movie. Now, this is going to be a spy comedy with some action. I know you're looking forward to this movie. I'm interested to talk about it with you. We're going to be doing some Get Smart. Steve Carell, Anne Hathaway, my boy The Rock, and Alan Arkin.
And your boy, the Great Kalamala.
The Great Khali.
The Great Khali. Yeah.
When all these random WWE wrestlers used to be in these movies for no reason. So, we got some Goldfinger and some Get Smart, a double G week.
Oh, my God. There's
I haven't seen Get Smart in at least 10 years. At least.
I seen it once on Netflix because you know how you scroll through and it was like new release, and I saw Anne Hathaway and I was just like, haven't seen this in a while. And I don't remember when I saw it, but I plopped it on and I just started laughing. I was like, man, she's gorgeous.
I remember parts, but I haven't seen it in 10 years.
Yeah, I remember. I remember it still holds up, but again, we got our stats, and that could all change.
It ruins everything.
It ruins everything in terms of all this stuff. So anyway, I'm looking forward to next week, which is Go Finger and Get Smart. That's funny. I like that. That's a pretty good combo. All right. Anyway, with that said, you guys want to follow us in our social media accounts? Please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything Action Movie Guys, head over to Instagram at Action Movie Guys Podcast, or head over to youtube.com/Geeks and Flicks for the video version of the podcast. Other than that, he is your host,
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
I'm his co-host, Alex Figueroa. Be awesome to each other and geek out.